Well, obviously tough result today. Not what you guys came for. Maybe Rondel, could we start with you and maybe just kind of the up and down nature of the game maybe seems like a place.
I feel like with any game, it's just a game of runs and who maximizes and minimizes the runs the best. I feel like some of their runs got out of hand, so it made us, go full throttle to bring it back, and then they just run another run after that. So we did a poor job really at minimizing their runs, and it's the outcome we got today.
MA, when things were going well for OSU, what was it that made the difference?
Shit, we were making shots and getting stops. That was pretty much it. We just got a lot of stops and we were making shots in the
All right, members of the media, if you have questions for Oklahoma State's Rondel Walker or M.A. Moncrieffe, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everybody. Our first question comes from Jacob Unruh of the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, Rondel, can you kind of pinpoint maybe some of the struggles on defense tonight? It seemed at times that they were getting kind of some easy buckets and you guys were just fighting maybe an uphill battle at times.
I feel like we were thinking too much into it, and really we were just overplaying, over helping, over rotating, over everything. I felt like we got too aggressive at times, and their guards, they have good guards. They took advantage of our over aggressiveness. Yeah.
MA, you had to go against Samuel at times tonight too. He's been pretty good against you guys both times this season. What does he do so well against you guys?
Early on we had a hard time keeping him. We got to get him further away from the rim, 2 feet from the rim to his comfort spot. So early on we struggled with that, and then that was really it. Just keeping him.
Now, Rondel, that last stretch there with Cade with the quick layup, was that by design? Was that you guys want to attack early in the clock or what?
It's just one of those things. Coach trusts us to make plays, so we weren't calling no timeout. We were thinking, wow, I don't know what he was thinking really, but he was probably thinking get a quick one. If not miss, we get a quick stop on the other end and come back. So, we'll live with those shots. We'll live with him making plays on the stretch, but next time we'll come through with it.
How good was it to see Farron back tonight?
It was really good. He's been with us. He's been the loudest on the bench every game. So it was great energy for him coming back in, and he actually contributed tonight. So that's big for us.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Sure.
Again, members of the media, if you have questions for Rondel or for MA, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everybody. Our next question is going to come from Chris Becker from the Oak Collie. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Rondel, can you just kind of walk us through what went on in that last, the last time out and the last meeting in the group, and what coach was saying and how that play got drawn up.
It was one of those things to where it was next play. We weren't really worried about the play we just gave up. At the end of the day, we still had a job to do, and we still had clock on the clock, so we had to execute. I feel like we executed really well, but the shot just didn't fall.
Thanks.
Sure.
Our next question is going to come from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, I just have a quick thing for either one of you. I don't know if it was just because there was a mic close to him, but was Mike Boynton, was he louder today? Was he kind of trying to get you guys more motivated? We could hear him on the TV, but I don't know if that was just maybe they had a mic right next to him.
Yeah, it was really no difference for him. It was just Coach Mike day in, day out. He wants the best of us. He demands the best of us. So when we're lacking and we're not doing the best that we can, he's going to try to bring that out of us. And he does that day in and day out. So I appreciate him for that.
Then Rondel, you've played with Cade for a long time now. What does he possess that makes him be able to? He didn't score in the first half. He drops 19 in the second half. What does he possess that allows him to do that?
He's just an elite athlete. We wasn't expecting him to have 0 in the first half, but nobody even said nothing to him at halftime because it's one of those things we know that he's a player and players make plays, and it wasn't gonna be like that for the rest of the game. In the second half, he stepped up and made the plays for us.
And then Ice, he's kind of struggled these last few games. What has kind of been his demeanor? Has he been any different? Has he kind of been the same? What's his demeanor been?
He's gonna stay level headed regardless, whether he dropped 30 or he's struggling. Me personally, Ice gonna be Ice. You guys think he's struggling, but for me, he's giving us what he needs. I think he came out a little late, but Ice been the same. He's been level headed throughout it all. So he just stays the same, neutral.
Appreciate it, guys.
Our next question is from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, this is for either one of you. Is it frustrating? How frustrating is it maybe that this happens twice against TCU, these last second losses?
I don't even feel like it's just the name itself or who we lost to in this situation. I mean, I can speak for myself, and I know my guys had the same attitude as me. A loss at the end of the day, and no one likes to lose. And the way we lost really all of our games, the one possession games, really shooting ourselves in the foot. So, I mean, that's really, I don't know how to explain it, man. But yeah, it's no one loss bigger than the other, but we just got to find a way to execute at the end, because these one possession losses aren't going to cut it.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to pin it on just TCU. I know it.
Hey, you good? You good?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say the negative on them. MA, you had a really strong first half too. What was working for you in that first half?
I was just finishing. I was just getting to good spots and finishing. That was pretty much it. Making my free throws. I missed a couple out. What I shoot 5 for 8. That's better, but I was just finishing and getting to the foul line.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
I'm going to take a step back from today's game and maybe start linking together the last few games. And really this applies to both of you, but maybe we'll start with MA. I mean, your production and everything has really taken off here lately. Is this just a matter of you're kind of getting more comfortable, or is the game slowing down, or how would you describe, this really positive trend that you've now had over a span of multiple games?
I mean, it's really just been what the team needed me to do. If they need to go out, if they need me to go out and not score and just rebound and defend, I'm okay with that. Today it happened to be they needed me to score. Past couple of games, and Cade was out, they needed me to score a little more. So it's really just been I don't think anything's changed. It's really just been my role and what the team needs me to do.
In Rondel, I think a lot of times when people think of MA, they think, he's a big guy, athlete. I mean, he really made a couple important passes today too. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the underrated part of his game?
Last game, like during the game, I was telling him he came a long way. At least during the game, I was telling him he came a long way. Now I consider him a point forward in a way. So I told him that mid-game last game. So it's just the work he put in, and Coach trusted him to make plays with the ball, and he makes great decisions with the ball. So we're living with anything he does on the court.
All right, so I'm going to flip it on you. Can you please share kind of your view of Rondel? And he's made several big shots. There's a couple times today where you felt like the game was getting away maybe a little bit, and Rondel would make a key shot. What do you see from him in those type of moments?
I mean, that's what he do. He's a scorer. When he comes in the game, we're looking for him to score, and obviously rebound and make good passes, but primarily shoot shots. And he's gonna do that at a high level every game. So now you guys saw that he came in instantly. I think he knocked off 2 right away. So that's what we look for him to do in these type of games. That's pretty much it. He's a great scorer.
All right, fellas, well, that'll do it for questions, but is there anything maybe that we didn't cover that's important to you that you feel like we probably should be addressing?
No, next game, that's all. Next game mindset.
All right, got to bounce back. That's it. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. Safe travels getting back home.
Yes, sir.
Coach, can you hear me okay?
I can.
All right. Well, tough result today. Kind of an up and down type of game. It felt like at times in bursts. What did you see?
Be honest, this is probably one of the few times that I felt disappointed in our mental focus. And it was like from the start, we didn't have the urgency that we needed to go on the road and win in this league. Obviously part of that is on me as a coach to make sure that our guys understand what's at stake, what we're playing for. And, but the guys got to go out there and play and fight. And we didn't do that from the beginning. We were playing catch up. We were reacting to everything tonight, particularly on the offensive end. We played a game tonight where it looked to me, before the benefit of watching the film, like we thought we would just outscore them. Like we thought we would have enough possessions to score the last time. And obviously that didn't work out. So it's always dangerous when you're playing that way because you don't always know who's going to have the ball last.
All right, members of the media, if you have a question for Oklahoma State head coach Mike Boynton, please click raise hand. Our first question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, you mentioned the disappointment there with the way that they approach mentally. How do you avoid that continuing? How do you pinpoint that and control that?
Well, I mean, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt first and foremost, because that's not something that's been an issue for this team. We're, I don't know, 15 games in or something like that. And, I can't really pinpoint a time where I felt that way. So I've got confidence in our staff and myself and in these kids that they'll come back tomorrow understanding that, this isn't good enough. What we did today in terms of how we played doesn't get it done. And, the interesting part is we had a good couple of days of prep. And I don't know if it's looking at the standings and seeing that they've on a 5-game losing streak, but, that's immature nonsense. And we've got to certainly do a better job of it as a staff and as players to not have that approach again.
And the layup from Cade there at the end, was that a design to go that early in the clock, or what was that?
It wasn't. He kind of made a decision. He thought he had an opening. I think he thought he could get all the way to the rim, but obviously what he's got to learn is, at that situation, you want to take as much time off the clock as possible and get it down to where the other team doesn't have so much time. But he made an aggressive play, and, can't fault the kid for that. I was more disappointed in our transition defense after that because we never chased the ball in the backcourt. I mean, certainly not in a tie game. Our first priority is to get back, get the basket covered, and then get the ball stopped as it's coming up the court. And we just had guys that, kind of got outside of that. But it was typical of how we were tonight. We weren't ourselves.
Is tonight, you mentioned it's a learning moment for Cade a little bit there too. Is tonight learning for him in general, and having to sit so long with fouls and find his way into the game in a different way than normal, maybe?
I don't know. I have to look at it. Maybe it's a learning moment for me. Maybe I don't need to sit him the whole time. He didn't pick up another foul the rest of the game. So I'll have to look at it and see maybe next time if I can steal a few more minutes in the first half and, see what we can do from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, on the inbounds pass where they ended up fouling Bryce, you had Cade obviously throw the ball in. This kind of puts you in a tough spot, having your best passer also be your best free throw shooter. But kind of what went into the decision to have Cade be the inbounder?
Just you got to have a guy who's a great decision maker there. He's the best decision maker on the court at the time, and he's just going to make a sound play and get it to the right guy. Bryce, I feel confident in as a free throw shooter as well. So that's part of the dilemma. Yeah.
And then you guys struggled from the line again tonight. MA started hot whenever he hasn't really this season. Is that kind of a focus thing like you've alluded to? Is it a young thing? Kind of how can you guys get better at the foul line?
I don't have a great answer, to be honest. I mean, it's something that some games we shoot them well. Some games we don't. And I think it's a focus deal. And tonight we weren't focused. And so that's one of the stats that's a little telling, is where our mindset is if we are stepping up there and shooting them the same way. But we'll get back and we'll practice them like we always have.
And what was it like having Farron back out there? He obviously made an impact in some short bursts there.
It's good. I mean, another weapon for us, another guy that can make baskets, can kind of stretch the floor, space the floor, especially for, some of our penetrating guys, for MA, for Bryce, for Cade, for Ice. So it was great to have him back. I'm glad he, played with some confidence out there, made a couple shots, and, it was good to have him back, and we look forward to building on it.
I don't know if you can think like this or do think like this, but is this the worst that you felt you guys have played this season? It kind of felt that way just watching the game.
My initial gut says yes. The film may tell me a different story. And really it's just because we never locked in defensively. There's been games we haven't shot the ball well, and I thought we played pretty hard. I thought we played the right way, and sometimes shots don't fall. But our engagement defensively never got to a place where it's acceptable for our team and for this program. And so at this point, I could say yes. I'd go back and watch the film, and I'll try to confirm that for you the next time we talk.
I appreciate it, Mike.
All right, Coach, well, that'll do it for questions, but is there anything important to you that maybe we didn't go over?
Not really. I mean, I need to get back and figure out how to make my team better. This was not a very good performance. I do want to credit TCU. They played well. They earned a win. They had guys make big plays, and they played with much more urgency, which is totally unacceptable for me. So,
all right, Coach. Well, thank you so much. We always appreciate you. Safe travels home.
thank you.
Members of the media, thank you as well.